Hey everyone, Emma here. I was going through a couple of HOA management platforms recently, and I kept running into the same thing. Everything kind of works, but nothing really fits cleanly. You still end up juggling spreadsheets, emails, manual follow-ups. It's like the system handles 70%, and the rest just spills over.
That 70% coverage is actually a pretty common place to be. Most off-the-shelf HOA software is designed to cover standard workflows, accounting, communication, ticketing, and it does that reasonably well. But the moment your processes start deviating, maybe because you manage multiple communities or your approval flows are different, you start compensating manually. That's where the friction builds.
Yeah, and the frustrating part is, it doesn't look broken. It just feels slower than it should be.
Exactly. And that's why the build versus buy question isn't always obvious. Because technically, everything is working. The real question is how much effort is going into making it work every day.
Let me bring Biz4Group LLC into this for a second, because I know you guys are one of the top real estate AI development companies in USA who work on both sides of this custom builds and AI integrations. So, when someone comes to you, are they usually trying to replace their existing system entirely, or are they trying to fix specific gaps?
Most of the time, it's the second. Very few companies want to rip everything out and start from scratch. What they want is to remove the parts that are slowing them down. Things like manual request routing, invoice handling, or reporting. So instead of replacing the system, we build AI layers that sit on top of what they already use and automate those specific workflows.
So it's less build versus buy and more buy than extend where it hurts.
That's usually how it plays out in practice. Because if you already have a system that handles your core operations, it makes more sense to improve how it's used rather than abandon it.
Okay, but let's talk numbers for a second. Because this is where people hesitate. Custom AI sounds expensive, so what does someone actually look at before deciding it's worth it?
They look at repetition. If the same tasks are happening over and over, categorizing requests, chasing approvals, reconciling invoices, generating reports, those are signals. Because each of those tasks takes time, and more importantly, they scale linearly with your operations. When we build systems at Biz4Group LLC, the focus is usually on those repeat-heavy workflows. Once automated, the impact shows up pretty quickly, not as one big saving, but as a steady reduction in workload.
So instead of hiring more people as you grow, you're absorbing that growth more efficiently.
Exactly. And that's where the ROI starts to make sense. It's not about replacing people, it's about preventing the need to expand just to keep up.
What about risk, though? Because I've seen cases where custom builds drag on or don't quite match expectations.
That usually happens when the scope is too broad. If you try to redesign your entire operation in one go, it becomes difficult to manage. A more practical approach is to start with one or two high-impact areas, like invoice processing or request handling, and build from there. That way, you're seeing value early without disrupting everything.
Yeah, that feels a lot more realistic. So if I'm sitting there running an HOA operation today, the question isn't, should I build something? It's more like, where am I losing time every single day? And is it worth fixing properly?
That's exactly the right question.
All right, that helps. Because this felt like a big strategic decision at first, but it's actually much more grounded in day-to-day operations. We'll get into more of these. I feel like this comes up way more often than people realize. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for your precious time. And to all the people listening to us, we'll be back soon with more.